how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. A great day. Here we are, very excited day because we're joining Beverly Hills McLaren to test out the all-new McLaren Artura, the all-new next generation hybrid model that takes tech out of the P1 and puts it into a road car. This marks a new generation for McLaren, as many of you know. And right behind me, inside their facility, behind these gates, are a few of the first official vehicles to land here in North America. Now keep in mind, these aren't the official finished versions yet. These are demo cars slash prototypes. The finished version will have the final customer spec software. Anyways, though, let's head inside, check out the vehicle, then hop inside for our first drive. Again, this is not my full review. You'll see that shortly. I'm just gonna keep it very brief in this video. We're gonna hop inside, listen to what it sounds like, and see how it drives. Stay tuned for a full video on the racetrack and so forth. And this is it right in front of us, the all-new McLaren Artura. Today, we're gonna hop inside and see what it is like to drive for a brief demo here. What do you guys think of this all-new body style with the McLaren orange paint job on it? I really do love McLarens with the orange, but the green next to us looks absolutely stellar. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Interesting placement for the radiator right here. It blends really well in, and it kind of reminds me a lot of the Elva here and there at the front end. But moving around the vehicle itself, it does still give you 570S vibes when it comes to like the flying, floating buttresses out back with the airflow. But everything that you see here is designed with purpose to maximize the cooling efficiency and also pull out as much hot air as possible. Like with this chimney out back, it reduces the actual heat within the engine compartment from 900 degrees Celsius all the way to about 250. So yes, you have a chimney vent on the back next to your new 6-cylinder V6 that relieves a lot of the hot air. Basically, McLaren marking this new step into the future, getting into the hybrid technology, giving you good gas mileage, but at the same time, pulling tech out of the McLaren P1 to give you a more advanced vehicle. Out front, you have two 35/19, so bigger size tires than the Sports Series lineup previously had with the 570S, which is one size more, 235. And then out back, you have two 95s, so still not the 305s that the 720S supercars have, but all together, it finds a nice medium ground with the horsepower output. You can kind of hear the electric systems doing their magic right now, keeping the car cool. Interesting what is different than any other Road Series McLaren to date so far. On the right side, you have your electric battery charge. Then on the left, you have the gas. So let's say that you run your battery all the way down. Only other way to charge it back up is if you are driving it with the gas motor, or you can charge it at your house. And this is at the interior of the all-new McLaren Artura. Everything is just brand new, redone for this body style. It feels so polished out and thoroughly built. It's not as race car and edgy as a previous model lineup. And towards the door sills next to the speakers, you can get this ambient lighting installed as well. These are the standard comfort seats, but if you get the car, you gotta go for the competition sport bucket. When you first sit inside, the space between the door and the seat is very close next to each other. Bending in, this is the latest generation carbon fiber tub. So when you get inside, the door sills, they aren't super high up. It's a very easy, entry and exit. But looking around us right now, with this interior, you have tons of Alcantara all around us, and you have middle leather throughout that looks very, very good with the style of this interior. It feels futuristic, especially with this vertical display going down the middle. And this reminds me a lot of the Senna. So many different aspects of this vehicle that seem inspired by other models, because the Senna right here in the middle has this floating curved center display. Coming all the way down here, you have your usual McLaren instrument cluster down below, but you don't have the active switch way down here. Instead, everything is connected up top, and there's no more active buttons, so you got to actively change. You see what I did there? You got to change the modes yourself, and then once you change them, they'll lock into position. So instead of having your own saved mode that you instantly tap on and you're ready to go, you have to always select it when you're driving. It's good and bad. I love my active switch, but hey, it doesn't really take away anything from the entire driving experience. I love how they kept the signature Sports Series or McLaren steering wheel with the carbon fiber. It looks absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and turn on this middle dash. press brake to start, and it'll always start out in the standard quiet mode. Just like all other McLaren models in the past, you have helmets for each person, indicating it's a race car. It's meant to be as such. Closing that, set ESC dynamic to start. So this is your variable drift control. So like the 720S, you can dial in variable drift control, sync your cell phone. Then here's your main homepage. So you have driver assistance, navigation, driving positions, which is interesting. So you can save to whoever person is driving. So you have David, Nolan, and it'll link up. So when you get in the car, you can hit one button and you'll go into your, desired position. So push on the side, you go back to your home page. You have ambient lighting, so you can customize through any color you want, add colors. So you want green or yellow, and the ambient lighting throughout the vehicle can change to however you like it. So let's hit blue and then click on it. And that's your footwell down below. So we can go to the doors, right? Hit blue. And the ambient lighting now, right there, if you can see closely, has become dark blue. I love this nice touch with the ambient lighting throughout the vehicle. So you can customize this if your car is orange like this one, so that all the ambient lighting is orange. Going back to the main page, scrolling down, you have your audio system, settings, media. This is the best part right here. Variable drift control, set ESC to dynamic to start. Okay, here we are driving the McLaren Artura. Now, is it pronounced Artura or Artura? That's funny. Uh-oh.
We were jamming.
There you go. As you were saying.
You can close the door. Your controls are on the left side of your leg now for your seat. So you can adjust your seat.
Versus the 720, it's on the right side.
It is. They switched it.
Oh, it's just like the Elva now with handling and powertrain controls. Perfect.
And then you already got it.
It goes with the steering wheel just like the Elva. Perfect. I think it's gonna go up. I'll just go straight back. Here we go. This is the weirdest thing, having an EV quiet McLaren now.
It is. And then the e-brake is on when you see park, so if you could just release it.
Same spot as always. So everything is driver friendly, so when you get inside, it's actually, it feels more polished up, the car itself, right?
Yes.
Versus the other generations. It's more like race car all the time. This feels like they're kind of trying to step more into like the luxury balanced techie feel. Can you still go into drive by pulling the paddle shifter? Yep, perfect. Alrighty, we free to go?
We are free to go.
Perfect, so right and right, got it.
And you know the hard turns, smart,
Yes,
love it
yes
already.
ma'am. I've seen so many people scrape their McLarens, and it stresses me out so much. All right, here we go. First drive in the McLaren Artura. We are in full EV mode right now, which is very different than like hopping out like a 765 LT with the whole car vibrating all the time with that V8. But this time, as you all know, all new 6-cylinder. So it's actually 7.5 inches shorter and 8 inches narrower than a standard McLaren V8. So totally different vibe with this vehicle, and you've got the full EV functionality. So right now, I'll just stop talking for a quick second so you can take in the moment of a pitch quiet McLaren. It does feel very weird. And maybe if I turn down the AC a little bit more, kind of hear there's no noise going on. This is so strange. Interestingly, it's not giving us one of those fake propulsion noises that some of the Teslas do with like the Plaid and so forth. This is like when the vehicle is quiet, it is fully such so that you don't wake up any neighbors, which that's cool. And when you turn it on, I think it automatically defaults into the setting. And if you're like backing out of your garage, the reverse gear is only with the electric flux axial motor. And that's one other thing too. You can kind of feel that dual clutch shift with it being in full EV mode, but altogether you can actually drive it like this for up to 11 miles. And the top speed for this mode is about 80 miles an hour. Very, very interesting driving this thing around here in LA. I'll be honest, the vibe sitting in here, it feels like a more polished out McLaren. Kind of gives me vibes of like the McLaren GT when it comes to how comfortable it feels and how thorough it is. It's not like the race car focused craft that you saw with some previous versions of the McLarens where it's so rough. This, I can see that you can drive this every day on the street, and all the technology around you seems pretty good, especially with this 10-inch display right in front of us. But you know what? I think I'm gonna pop it into the standard drive mode. Oh, 600 LT, just like my car, driving by. That is so cool. You hear the motor in that one, but you don't hear it in this at all. Yep, so the drive indicators are right up here. So similar to when we drove the Elva, the powertrain and the handling components are right here next to the steering wheel. The idea is that you don't take your hands too far away from the steering wheel at all times. You just kind of lift up. On the brake pedal too, it feels more instantaneous than this typical carbon ceramics. Now what's nice about the Artura versus like the 296 GTB Ferrari and some other hybrid supercars is that they're not going down the route of regen braking. So they're doing that to not just save weight, but also it gives you a more progressive pedal feel that feels more natural. And I'm happy they did that. And I'm happy also that they kept with the electro-hydraulic steering wheel because it feels more solid to the hand. It's got more resistance to it, and you can get that, you feel the feedback, especially on the racetrack. But like I mentioned earlier, let's turn on the gas motor by going into standard sport mode. The engine should be on all times. Okay, that was a cool snap into V6 power. But with this hybrid system, it should give you a much more gradual, linear response. And being in sport mode, hopefully we get the throttle cut for the gear change, where that gives you the whiplash effect. But it sounds pretty good in sport mode. You got the best of both worlds, essentially. If you're a fan of all the future hybrid tech, drive around EV mode, and it'll kick on the gas motor once it starts needing to charge the electric battery, because since you don't have regen braking, that's not going to transfer more juice to the battery pack. And the battery pack itself, like overall the hybrid system is about 287 pounds, I believe, from what McLaren told me. And the motor itself, though, is only 30 pounds. So altogether, you're getting 94 horsepower extra out of a 34-pound motor. But then the batteries are what? Oh, it turns off just like that. Auto start stop.
If you brake slightly, it'll go kick
Yep.
back on.
That's so funny. Oh gosh. So we're not getting the crackles on the downshifts, it doesn't seem like. However, for being a 6-cylinder, it actually doesn't sound half bad. It's coming together as a nice balanced package, honestly.
Yeah, that's what they're going for.
Wow. That's pretty good. It's interesting because I'm speechless right now, because when you get on power in other McLarens usually, you can kind of feel the turbo like a little bit like a 3000, but right now, just touching the throttle, they're implementing that axial flux motor so well between the low RPM so that the torque and the power gets supplemented next to the delay with the twin turbo V6. So altogether, they've done a really good job making it feel very intuitive. The track display looks pretty familiar, but I love how advanced and futuristic it looks. Thank you very much. Thank you. Getting courteous
Nice
drivers.
people today.
Usually when I'm in my car, they honk at me, they do this. So right there, that charge indicator is letting know how much it's charging the actual battery pack. Nice crackle on that upshift, actually. For what they've engineered here. I mean, the V6 sounds pretty good. I'll roll the winds a little bit more so you can hear more of the exhaust versus the wind. But downshifting, let's see if we get any special sound effects. Yeah, so it's not kicking on with the turbos and high RPM throwing you back, like doing the warp speed effect that McLarens are so famous for, but at the same time, it feels much more gradual to me. So on the racetrack, I'd be very curious to see how it handles. But altogether, very impressed with my brief drive so far. Stay tuned for our full official review, because we'll be doing that, I think next month or so this summer, and we'll be doing the full experience, testing it out properly, and maybe even the racetrack too. Stay tuned for that one. The inputs, it feels just kind of like a more grown-up McLaren, less raw, because I know some owners weren't a big fan of how raw they can get sometimes, which I prefer, like the LTs and so forth, but this is really good for if you want to buy a McLaren but still drive it every day on the street and get good gas mileage and be part of the future trend. Having this hybrid system is straight out of the P1, essentially, the technology. And McLaren even said the hybrid system with the axial flux motor is more efficient than the one in the P1. Altogether, for having all the electric tech, it still is one of the lightest supercars on the market, just 3,300 pounds for the curb weight. And if you look at other electric hybrids like the NSX, that can get close to 4,000 pounds. They've really focused on keeping everything lightweight. The new carbon fiber tub is the most rigid but lightest one yet, just 180 pounds. It's unbelievable how they really kept the weight pretty far down for having all this electric tech. This is just the beginning, so stay tuned for like the Artura LT as well. And one last thing I do want to highlight before I pull in. This is the first McLaren that has an electronic differential. All the McLarens up until now, they've been using the brake steer, which uses the brake calipers, the pads, to apply on each rotor to allow you to rotate into a corner hard. It's straight up like F1. But using the electric batteries now and the electric motor, they had to go down this route. And just briefly driving on the street, it feels smooth. And I can't wait to see how it applies that power with the slip on the racetrack, especially in track mode. The tuning should be really good. And we even try out, dynamic. So dynamic would give you even more punch, because McLaren is so famous for when you put in dynamic, the car is totally different with the behavior. Now with this Artura, let's roll in style with all electric mode. It's all off. This is so surreal. If you hear an exhaust note, it's the Artura behind us. So I don't know. I'm pretty in shock with the way this thing is put together. Major shout out to McLaren of Beverly Hills, with having customers come out here today to test out and experience what this new supercar is all about. And again, stay tuned for our full official review. If you want to get an Artura, make sure to hit this dealership up. I'm going to grab an ordering sheet right now to see what the options are going to be like for this vehicle. But a Senna over there, very awesome to see. And then when it comes to ordering your McLaren Artura, this is the lifestyle behind it. You can check out all the different paint colors all around you, like the MSO finish right down below. I'm not sure if that's available at all on the Artura, but very cool, the entire experience. Please let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of the all-new McLaren Artura? It is pretty exciting seeing the next-gen future tech inside these supercars. Hopefully we'll see in our Artura LT in the future. That'll be awesome. But as I mentioned earlier, stay tuned for a full official review of the vehicle. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next episode. Don't forget, if you want to get an Artura, make sure to reach out to these guys over here at McLaren of Beverly Hills. They'll hook you up.